And Prof, good evening, and thank you very much for your time. Two big changes, one being that of the state security now being taken into the presidency, but will be overseen by Deputy Minister Zizi Kodwa, and Mondli Gungubele coming back as Minister in the presidency, but also changes to the finance ministry. Those are certainly big ones.
No, they are certainly big ones. With the state security, relocation, change of position on its own will not help. What will be required is having a firm hand in charge, making sure that things are happening, monitoring, and getting rid of the bad elements. So one hopes that there will be sufficient administrative infrastructure and authority. Zizi Kodwa is a very energetic person. He has bright ideas, but will he have all the necessary support? Remember, the president also has many other responsibilities. So the fact that this ministry is close to him doesn't necessarily mean that he will know everything that is happening. He will have to make time to find out, to make sure that things are happening. What we know as of now is that very little has happened in that department to change things around. So for you to have a serious push, you need to have sufficient personnel and pay sufficient attention to detail. Whether or not this relocation, change of address, necessarily solves that, I don't know. Then the other issue has to do with Kotongwana. Kotongwana is an ally. He's the ANC's chairperson of the Economic Transformation Committee. He enjoys a lot of respect within the party, within business generally. And I hope what he will do, because there are many contentious issues that government will have to take decisions upon. And Kotongwana sometimes is a very nice person. What I liked about Tito was that he had a line and he was clear about what he needed to do, because you need to make controversial decisions, unpopular decisions that will trample upon the interest of many people, many interest groups. So I hope that Kotongwana knows what needs to be done, but whether he will seek to please and not make unpopular decisions, I don't know. But Tito certainly did not care to please. He made the decisions that were necessary. So that's partly my concern with Kotongwana. He knows what to do, he's well liked, but does he have the spine to make the unpopular decision? Because that has been really the main critique, the main weakness of this presidency, that they go around pleasing everybody, talking to everybody, but they don't make the necessary decisions.
Prof, are we surprised that the Minister of Police is still in his position, as some were saying that, especially during the unrest, police were found wanting?
Well, it would have been terrible to have two ministers from KZN, provincially based ministers, being kicked out of cabinet, because Mkhize is already out, and to have Cele out as well. Cyril still has to watch his back to make sure that he has KZN behind him. And secondly, Cele has been on his side from the very beginning. Tough talking, this and that. Whether or not he's the kind of person who sits behind his desk and reads his emails is something else altogether. There's a lot to be said there in that ministry. I'm not sure if he's the best competent minister that you have, but it's good for Cyril's politics, to shore up his presidency, to make sure that he still has a direct line to KZN, that the firing of Mkhize doesn't cause any unhappiness in that part of the country, especially now that you have JZ's problem. So politically, keeping Cele makes a lot of sense, but he obviously has to pay a lot more attention to that ministry, because there's something there. There's tension, as you know, between the minister and his commissioner, and this partly explains why they messed up the looting episode. Yeah.
Prof. Ndletyana, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Political Analyst and University of Johannesburg Politics and International Relations Associate Professor, Professor Mcebisi Ndletyana.